All right, so welcome to PD Active's Neuro-Movement class. My name is Stephanie, and in this class, we sort of do a little bit of everything. We do a little bit of Pilates, we do some eye exercises to help with our balance and our coordination, and then we also we may or may not get to some sort of dancing aerobics today. We'll see what happens. This class, it's optional. You can be barefoot or with shoes. I am actually wearing shoes today. It's just what happened. So if that's for you, that's for you. Let's see if I can get myself in frame. We're gonna start with your ball, and we're just gonna do some drills to help warm up our eyes and warm up our coordination with our hands. I'm realizing that the sun is coming through the pergola here, so if this is terrible to follow me, please just unmute yourself and tell me that this is terrible, and I'll switch it. So we're just gonna start with a little passing back and forth of the ball, and I'd like you to follow the ball with your eyes. So as small or big as it is, as fast or slow as it is, just moving from side to side, following the ball or the tangerine, if you have a tangerine in your hand, with your eyeballs. So it's kind of like you're watching a ping pong game with the ball going back and forth. We'll go for about 5 more seconds. I'm just crouching down so I can stay in frame and see y'all, but stay standing or in your seat. Good. Nice. And then let's change it to a passing up and down. So you're going to toss it up and catch it. Try to catch it with both hands so you're getting the coordination between the right and left sides of your body. Dual effort in catching the ball. And depending on how you're feeling today, you might throw that ball so high that it touches your ceiling. And you're looking to follow the ball with your eyes as it goes up and as it comes down and drops into your hand. Whoop. We'll go about 10 more seconds of those up and down tosses. If you're feeling a little spicier today, you can walk around the room while you do it. And let's do one more toss. And then coming back to your station, you're going to hold the ball in your left hand, pass it behind your back, and then in front. If you're using a larger ball, just maybe accommodate. If you need to switch out balls. Oh, there you go. Looks like those of you with the letter ball, you can palm it. Yep. Nice. How quickly can you go? Try to make a smack with your hand if your object is not squishable. Smacking so that you get a little bit of vibration through your hands and your bones. Again, that vibration helps us better understand where your hands are. When you better understand where your hands are, you have better proprioception and better integration through the whole arm. Good. Stop. Switch directions. You're going to go to the right and around. Orbit the body. We did a little bit of a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Making that smacking kind of sound when you're passing through, right? There you go, Janice. Looks good. I can't hear you, but I can sense that. Good. We're going to go for 2 more. Nice. And then we're going to go for a tossing up and down again. Or if you have a wall in your room that you don't mind bouncing the ball off of, you're going to bounce the ball off of a wall and catch it. And again, your eyeballs are watching the whole time. See. I aim at the same spot every time. I've got this little trim on the slider. And again, if you don't have that wall, just an up and down, try to follow the ball with your eyes. If you're feeling spicy, and what I mean by spicy is if you're feeling a little bit motivated to try something more challenging, you can walk around a little bit as you're tossing up and down. Please just be safe. You know your body better than I do. Let's go for 2 more. And last toss. Good. You're going to take the ball in your left hand. We're going to weight shift over into the left side and tap the ball to the right knee. Oop. Bill, give me a thumbs up when you're settled. And then we'll switch to the other side. And you can do this seated as well. So if you want to do this in the chair, we're just coordinating, alternating touches, but you got to pass the ball every time. Going as fast or slow as you'd like. I'm going to go at a kind of a moderate pace. Feel free to move quicker if that's for you. Pass, touch, pass, touch, pass, touch. There you go, Alana. Nice job. So there's some skills that we've been learning on with this pass, right? Working on some peripheral vision. Do you need to look at where the ball is going, or can you look straight ahead and still understand what's happening? Good. And we're going to do about 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nice job. Ball is in your left hand. Get a nice athletic stance, little bend in your knees. We're going to take the ball up. I'm going to get low so you can see the ball on the diagonal, but you can stand sort of normal. The ball is going to be up on the left, and then your other hand is going to be down on, up on the left, down on the right. Yes? Okay, your eyes are going to do a little disco. Your eyes are going to go up to your ball, and then you'll look at your fingers down on the right side. You can move your head for this one. So we're just going to go up to the right, down to the left. Up to the ball, which is on your left side, and then down to your fingers, which is on the right side. So go ahead and move through that. And again, you can move your eyes and your head for this one. Try to stretch your ball up just a little bit higher, like you're trying to touch it to the top of your bookshelf or to the top corner of your picture frame on the wall. Let's do 1 or 2 more. Good. Bring it to the center. We're going to do your marching touch, pass, marching touch, pass. Seated or standing. There you go. Start by looking at the ball and looking at your knees and going, oh yes, I'm making that connection. And then if you can wean yourself off of that need to look at what you're doing, you can look forward maybe at me or at something in front of you and just understand through the peripheral vision where your knees are and where your ball is. There you go. Nice, Daniel. Let's do 2 or 3 more touches. Good. Ball in your right hand. Strong athletic stance. Little bend in your knees. Okay. Up on the right. I'm mirroring you. Up on the right side, down on the left. Big wide fingers, active hand. Here we go. Eyes to the ball, eyes down to the fingers. Eyes to the ball, eyes down to the fingers. And if you need to move your head and your eyes together. Maybe 1 or 2 more of those head turns. Good. And last set, cross body touch, pass over. Cross body touch, pass over. Now, again, if you're feeling spicy or you want a little challenge, instead of just tapping, you're going to pass underneath. Pass underneath. Pass underneath. Pass underneath. Yep, seated or standing, just be mindful of where you're at today. Good. If you're nervous about your balance, maybe just back yourself up so you have a couch behind you or a wall behind you. There we go. Maybe at first you have to look at the ball in order to see what's going on, and then you can look forward Mm-hmm. Good. We'll go about 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, woo, and 1. Nice job. March in place or walk around your space as sort of a rinse or a flush. Good. All right, coming to your center. Last eye exercise here. We're going to hold the ball above your face. So instead of on a diagonal, we're just going to go straight up. We're also going to have another hand down the center. Okay, so make sure you're not on the diagonal. We already did that one. Overhead. And if that arm gets tired, you can replace that ball with something on your bookshelf. Like you're going to look at something high on the bookshelf, look at something low on the bookshelf. Okay. Otherwise, we're right here. We're just going to bring our eyes up and eyes down, eyes and head up, eyes and head down. Have yourself in a nice athletic stance, because when you're moving your eyes and your head like this, it can throw you off balance. So you want your body to be in a position where you're ready to catch yourself if you get thrown off a little bit. Okay. Again, if your arm gets tired, you can drop your arms and just look at something on the wall that's very high and something on the wall that's low. Same thing. Let's go for about 5 more seconds, of which wherever you're at. I'm just going to take a peek. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Last time, you're going to toss the ball up and down. If you would like to make some suds on your ceiling, some orange juice with your tangerine on the ceiling, try to get it to hit the nice target. You can also bounce the ball off of a wall. It introduces a little bit more chaos for you to react to, which is what I'm looking for. Hand-eye coordination, tracking the ball with your eyes. Definitely summer, right? We're going to be probably spending more time outside, more time playing games, lawn games, sports with the kids, grandkids. Ooh. Maybe 3 more of those passes. Eyes always tracking the ball. There you go. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. We're going to keep the ball near us, but we are going to spend a little bit of time on the floor next. You start making your way down to your mat if you haven't already, or yeah. I was going to say if you haven't already, but we're all pretty much there. And I'm getting kind of washed out with the sun, although I love that, but I'm going to come a little closer. All right, and you know the drill. If you get onto the mat a little sooner than the rest of the team, we're just gonna have your feet wide on the ground and let your knees go from side to side. Keep your ball nearby, okay? Maybe even keep it in your right hand as we go through this. So letting your knees go from side to side. It's never a bad idea. That rotation in your femur joint, the thigh bone, the hip joint. And also you're getting rotation and stretch in your low back. Go ahead and let your legs fall towards me and roll all the way onto your side. Doesn't matter which side you're on, but if you have trouble following cues, maybe mirror me. So you'd be on your right side with your legs in that direction, okay? So depending on your orientation in your space, you want to just do what I'm doing, mirror me, so it's easier to follow. We're going to take the ball in your top hand, reach it all the way forward. We're going to follow the ball with our eyes as it sweeps up overhead, which means your eyeballs are going to have to come to the part of your face as you rotate through and around, following the ball with your eyes. As the ball comes past your hips, we're going to lift our head up just a little bit in order for us to keep tracking it. And then it sweeps forward again. So stretching forward, following the ball the whole time. Big rotations. If you feel like during any of that movement, your body needs to stay in one position for a little bit longer because it feels good. Like it feels good to be in this open position. Hang there for a little bit. And then sweeping through. Rotate open and exhale through. We're going to do that one more. Love it. From here, send your legs out long so that they're flat on the ground, kind of underneath you. They're stretched out. We're going to dorsiflex your feet, which means laces towards shins or tops of your feet towards shins. That creates an active end of the line. Taking your ball still in your top arm, reach it up overhead. Top arm and so top elbow and top knee are going to come and make contact with one another. If it's hard to make the contact, you can touch it with the ball. And then we're going to stretch everything longer. Try to make the top side of your body longer than your bottom side. And then when they come together, the top side of your body is shorter than the bottom side. Okay, so we go up, big stretch, and then tap and touch. Now, when you do the tap and touch, try to avoid rolling back. Okay, we want to get it side of our body. You got to the rotation of your leg in order to make that position possible. Don't forget the stretch, right? We're always trying to be bigger, 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 bigger. Shrug your shoulder towards your ears and then elbow to knee. Bigger, bigger, bigger shoulder to shrug your shoulder up and then elbow to knee. I like to inhale when I'm stretching to expand and then exhale on the exertion. Inhale, open, exhale, pulling. Inhale, open, exhale, pulling. Let's do one more. Inhale, open, exhale, pulling. Beautiful, and release. We're going to bend your knees there. You can let go of your body. We're going to push off the ground and come into your twisted sit. Both hands on the ground. Twisted sit. So I call this a side sit where your legs are sort of stacked. And then we've got our arms propped. From here, we're going to do a push-up where your ear comes to the ground. So it's going to be a push-up, your ear comes to the ground. And then when you press up straight, your eyes are going to go to something that's beyond, sort of like on the diagonal of your mat. Okay, so your eyes are moving from maybe looking at me as you come down, the ear turns. Good. And then looking up at something beyond. Beautiful. So working on that strength in your shoulders, working on tolerance of being on your hands and wrists. Good. When you go into your twisted push position, so your twisted sit, you can get yourself a little bit of extra rotation in your spine by leaning into the arm that's back. And if that kind of went over your head, you don't really know what I mean by that, don't worry about it. Just work on your push-up. Nice. Let's go for maybe 2 or 3 more, and then we're going to roll into crab. Last one, push up. Good. You may need to adjust your hands a little bit. We're going to take the arm that's closest to me, swing it behind you, and roll into crab. So we have feet in front, arms back. Yeah. I'm going to kind of go diagonal too, so you can kind of see what's going on. So from here, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. You can get some rounding in your spine and some stretch in your shoulders. And then you're going to draw your shoulders away from your ears, push your heart towards the ceiling, and bring your chin up towards the ceiling. Let's go reverse of that. Shrug in, collapse through your sternum, through your belly button, and then push the ground away. Heart comes up, chin comes up. Working on folding in towards yourself and then making yourself really big. And this is so good for your shoulders. Maybe you're feeling a stretch in the front. Maybe you're feeling your back muscles work to help you find your extension in your back. The big posture. Let's go 2 more. And last one. Good. From here, legs go straight, and I want you to reach forward into some sort of forward fold. Some sort of forward fold. Again, this is sort of a rinse recuperation. When we do our exercises in this class anyways, there's a ebb and flow of work, rest, work, rest, work, rest. That recuperation is important so that the next time we do some work, you can give it your all. You're not too tired. All right, let's come back into your crab again. And we're gonna do some bridges or butt lifts. So finding that shoulder stability, so push the ground away, find your heart lifted. Definitely working through your feet. So finding your feet if you haven't already. I like this little tapping, gives your brain something to latch down to. And then we're gonna hover your hips off of the mat and then bring the hips back down. Now your hover is different than my hover, is different than the next person's hover. So you do you, pressing up and then coming down. Good. Bonus points. If when you come down, you can pull your feet into dorsiflexion. So you're pulling the top of your feet towards your shins when you sit back. So they sort of go flat as you rock into them. And then they dorsiflex on the way down. Yeah. Okay. Hips up and then drop down. I know this is a big stretch on the shoulders, a lot of work through the arms, a lot of work through your back line. We're going to go for 4 more lifts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Now we're going to swap your legs to the other side so that you can come into your side sit on the side that we did not do last time. And we're going to be in your twisted sit, twisted side sit. I know, lots of work in the wrists. Roll them out when you need to. All right, so we're going to go push up, ear to the mat, push up, eyes go up on the horizon. Okay, you get to decide how fast you go with this one. Ideally, you're getting full range of motion. So your ear is coming all the way down to the ground, and then you're pressing up. Okay, this is practicing, obviously, upper body strength, but also practicing just getting up off the mat, right? Like, what is the ease of transition there? So feel free to go faster or slower than what I'm doing. Again, I tend to do a moderate pace. You don't have to go at my pace. Nice. We'll go for about 10 more seconds. Yeah. And then we're gonna come all the way down onto our side. So you can use that little push up and transition, kind of untuck that elbow through. We do need your ball. So if you lost your ball, grab it. You can make a pillow with your bottom arm or use a real pillow. Your knees are gonna be tucked in a little bit and you have your ball in your top hand. Okay, we're gonna do the circles first. So we stretch forward, eyes follow the ball as it circles around. Oh, I want to spend a little bit more time there. And then we're gonna lift our head, follow the ball as it passes down by your hips and past your knees. Stretch it forward, up and around. If you're really following that ball, there's gonna be like an upside down moment where you're looking kind of at the world upside down, right? When the ball is over your head. Which can be a vestibular challenge if you don't often put yourself in upside down state. So let's go maybe 1 or 2 more of those. That last one. Great. Oh yeah, that one got me. first time around. I think I was doing it better the second time. All right, legs are long underneath you, and we're gonna dorsiflex your feet. So top of the feet towards your shin. Top arm reaches up. We're going elbow to knee and reach. Okay, so this is the basic. And then I layer in with different things to think about, right? Because it's all about the intention. This exercise isn't so hard, but when you start layering in all the things that you have to think about it, that's when it gets harder. Can you expand and get bigger when the limbs go long? Inhale into the top ribs, and then exhale, try to get small on the top side, little side crunch. There you go. Inhale, get longer. Exhale, get smaller. Inhale, get longer. Exhale, get smaller. Nice. Those little layers of intention kind of make the big difference. Like from the outside, you may not be able to see anything, but from the inside, it should feel just a little bit more embodied. 2 more. And last one. Nicely done. We're gonna log roll into your back and readjust on your mat if you need to. Bend your knees up. Feet are flat for bridging. And we're gonna start with the ball in your right hand. So you have your feet about sit bone width apart. Start with your knuckles down on the ground next to your thighs. If you want to watch the demo, here it is. We're going to bridge the hips up, pass the ball underneath to your left hand, and reset the hips down on the mat. So it's just going to go always underneath your hips. We're going to press the hips up, pass the ball underneath, and then lower the hips down. Okay, simple. Here we go. Bridge, pass, lower. Bridge, pass, lower. And if you want to go faster than what I'm doing, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Go at your own pace. Bridge, pass, lower. Bridge, pass, lower. We're going to do that 4 more times. Bridge, pass, lower. Bridge, pass, lower. Last one. Bridge, pass, lower. Nice job. Right leg, please bring it into tabletop. Your left leg can stay as it is, and if you like straightening out the leg for the stretch, you can. We're gonna just lower leave your ball on the ground. Hopefully it doesn't roll away, and grab both hands behind your thigh. Okay, both hands behind. You can interlace your fingers. Here's the coordination for this one. You're gonna kick your leg straight and dorsiflex your foot. So that means laces to shin. So the heel going towards the ceiling. And then you're gonna point your foot and bend your knee into your tabletop again. I realize my foot gets cut off. So dorsiflex, kick straight, point, and lower in. Now I've been doing so much traveling lately. I'm feeling a lot of nerve tightness in the back of my leg. I'm just saying this in case someone else is feeling that too. That's totally normal if you feel some nerve tension in this. The idea with this one is that we move through it. Okay, so we're getting that nerve to glide a little bit better through the back of the leg. You're like, wait a minute, are we doing this exercise for us or for you, Steph? And the answer is both. Good. So heel to the ceiling, point, and then bend. Heel to the ceiling, point, and then bend. Let's do that one more time. Heel to the ceiling, point, and then bend. We're gonna kick your leg up towards the ceiling again, point your foot, please. Let your leg drift over the midline, meaning if you're holding your right leg, you're gonna cross over to the left just a little bit. Try to keep your hip anchored on the ground. So it's just your thigh bone crossing over, and then bring it a little bit to the set, like where it came from, and then maybe a little bit over to the right. So your leg's just gonna wander from right to left. Yep. And your goal here again is to keep your pelvis planted on the ground. So it's just your thigh bone moving across the body. Yeah, and I know my leg's not straight. I got a lot of nerve tension today, but if you can straighten up your knee a little bit more, squeeze your kneecap, maybe even put one hand on the front to help remind you, oh, I got to squeeze this quad muscle, my thigh muscle here. Good. And then we're going to slide that leg down next to the other one, and we'll do that little series on the other side. Ooh. Sometimes I feel like a rush of blood. That means we did a good job. All right, same thing on the other side. So holding behind your legs. Again, if you need pillows behind your head, please do that. Okay, so if you're like feeling like your legs like pulling you off the ground, throw a pillow. Flex the foot and kick, point the foot and bend. I see you all already doing it. What am I even doing here? You're so competent on your own. Point, sorry, flex and kick, point and lower. Flex and kick, point and lower. And your hands behind your leg is just keeping it so that your leg doesn't drift away from you when you're trying to stretch it. The more you can use your muscles to hold your leg in one spot, the better. Yep. Flex and kick, point and lower. Nice. Let's do one or two more. Good. Kick your leg up straight towards the ceiling. Point your foot. We're going to cross it over the midline and then out to the side a little bit. And again, trying to keep the two goals here, trying to keep your hips down. So it's just your leg moving side to side. And then also trying to keep your legs straight, squeezing your quad, pull your kneecap towards your hip. Yeah. Do that one more time. Good. All right, grab your ball again. A little bit of rest. Now we got to work. The ball is going to be in your right hand. If you want to watch the demo, here we go. We're going to bridge the hip up. This time when we pass the ball, it's going to be like a jumping jack arm. So the arms are going to come up. We pass the ball overhead. We come down and we rest the hips down. Okay, so we go hips up. Sweep the arms up like a jumping jack arm or a snow angel. Pass the ball over your head and then bring it arms down, hips come down. Okay, so working shoulder mobility with the hip mobility. Here we go. Bridge, snow angel, pass, bring the arms down, lower the hips. Got the pattern? Bridge. Okay, let's go about 3 or 4 more passes. 2 more passes. And last one. Excellent job. Nice work. All right, we're going to roll over onto our front, and I'm going to give you a strategy to do so. So if you want to do the Steph version or the fancy version, follow my lead. You're going to scoot to the edge of the mat furthest away from me or to one side of the mat. We did that so that you have more real estate for you to roll onto your front on this one side. So the side that has more mat available, you're going to straighten out that leg. That arm is also going to come up overhead. You have long one. You press through the foot that's still on the ground to help you roll onto your front. And then you're here. And if you need to, scoot yourself back to where you came from. And get my ball rolled away. All right. So in this position, we're going to be up on our elbows. And if this feels like a lot of extension on your back, you can throw a pillow on your front underneath your hips or your belly to help relieve some of that pressure if you're feeling a little pressure in your low back. All right, so you can have your fingertips pressed together for this exercise to help sort of complete the circuit, right? From here, you're going to press the ground away and lift your eyes up towards the ceiling. And then lower down, get lazy, let your shoulders shrug. Maybe looking down your front. Push the ground away and then bring your eyes up towards the ceiling. And then let yourself sag and get lazy and look down your front, okay? Can you feel how the energy in your shoulders and your elbows pressing into the ground helps sort of bring about life to your posture and bringing your eyes and head up and then lowering down? We're going to do that one more time. Press yourself into that extension and be easy in this position. So your shoulders are strong and you're looking ahead. You're just going to be in your elbow prop position here. In this position, your elbow prop position, I want you to look around the room and find something red. And something in your room that's red. Little I Spy game. While you're in this position. Good. Nice. If you found something red, I want you to kick your legs up towards your hip, your bum. Kind of almost like a happy wag, like, hey, I found something red. It's a little cue for me to know that you found something red. Good. Relax your feet, looking around, finding something in your room that's yellow. And when you find something yellow, you can give me a little foot movement. Tell me I found something that's yellow. And if you can't see something like in your direct field of vision, you can kind of look behind you, right? Like using some of your side bending and some of your maneuvering through your elbows. Good. All right, still the feet. Push the ground away. Look around your room, find something blue. And again, if you want to challenge yourself a little further, maybe find something blue that's behind you. There you go, Daniel. Give yourself some space. And then wag your tail or move your feet once you're done. So I know that you found your blue thing. Good. All right. So now we're going to work on a little bit of transitioning here. So pushing the ground away, you're going to take your left hand kind of towards your hips. You're going to push off that hand and roll onto your side. Simple, but it takes some mobility. Roll back to your front. Elbow comes back. Other hand comes to your hip. Push off the ground and roll onto your side. Yep. Try to let your legs be kind of lazy in this. So if you're feeling like you had some rigidity in your hips this morning, allowing your pelvis to move and your thigh bones to just sort of like be almost a rag doll around that, right? Yeah, let your pelvis be the thing that moves you, not necessarily your lower leg, your lower extremity. Good. You can do that one more time. Finish on a side that feels right for you. Bring your knees in. We're going to come up into that twisted sit and drive up into your hands and knees. So now we're in 4-point. I'm going to get rid of this towel. I thought that would be nice, but it's more annoying. Yep. So hands and knees. Yes. Slinky cat cow. We're going to start from the tail, round the spine, push the ground away, lower your head. Lift your tail up and extend. Bring your eyes up. And this is different from normal cat cow because we're always starting from your tail to initiate the rolling through. Okay. And your head and your eyes are the last thing to ripple through the spine. So sit bones wide. We roll through. Eyes come up. Sit bones narrow. Touch the tail and come through. Janice looks beautiful. Nice job. Yeah. Play with that undulation. How many segments are in your spine? Do you have 2 segments of your spine, 3 segments? 6 segments? Technically, you have 24 segments, but that can be hard to differentiate each one of those. We're getting there. Let's do that one more time. Good. Sit your hips back towards your heels to just take some release off of your hands. We are going to grab your ball. So grab your ball, make sure it's nearby. Let's grab it in your left hand. We're going to shift forward just a little bit, but we have the ball in our left hand, so don't put too much weight in there. That left ball is going to thread underneath, and we're going to watch the ball with our eyes. So we're going to thread underneath, a little thread the needle. If you can get your left shoulder down to the ground, even better. And then that ball is going to rotate up and open towards the ceiling. And again, trying to follow the ball throughout that whole movement of thread the needle. And then rotating up and over. Yep, thread the needle. And up. Let's do that 2 more times. Thread the needle, reaching that ball as far through as you can. And then rotating open towards the ceiling. Good. Try to follow the ball with your hand, especially when you go open towards the ceiling. So you're not just throwing the arm back behind you, but you're actually rotating into that. Okay, it's not how far back the ball can go, it's how far can your eyes go. Yep. Cool. Let's sit back, shake out that wrist, switch your hands, come back into your, I guess, technically 3 points. Love that rock and carry. That's great. A little self-soothing. We're going to thread through and rotate open. And again, it's not about how far you can throw that arm back. It's about how far can you take your eyeball. So keeping the ball within vision. Let's go 2 more. And last one. Good, nice job. All right, come up into a tall kneel position. And we're gonna have you bring your left foot forward. And let's have your foot off on a 45-degree angle. Okay, you still have your ball, yeah? Okay, the ball is just gonna rest on your thigh for this first sit. I call this Sailor Jerry, so you can have one hand on your hip, one hand here. Carrie, we've been working on this one in the other class. So I'm just gonna turn to the side. You're gonna tuck your tail, which is gonna make you feel a little schlumpy. You can kind of round your spine a little bit. Sit back a little bit more so you're on your shin, you're not actually on your kneecap. And then you're gonna lean into the left leg and back and forth. So this is another one of those ones where you're flossing the nerve or you're gliding the nerve to help with some maybe hip stiffness or hip pain. And the reason why we go schlumpy is to put a little stretch on where the nerve exits the spine. So I wouldn't say you're just passively schlumpy. You're actively creating this C curve in your spine. Let's go one more time there. Good. And then we're going to take, before we switch sides, we're going to take your ball and we're going to thread it underneath and then over the top. So again, a little bit of coordination of passing the ball and some weight shifting if you have that in you. So you're shifting into the front leg and then shifting back. Now, if you need to look at the ball to make sure it's going where it's going, or if you can look on the diagonal and just know in the periphery of your vision that you're getting where you need to go. And again, if you're feeling even more spicy, we can pass that ball overhead. I know that I get caught off in the camera, but yep, giving you a little bit more shoulder mobility. Good, Bill, add that weight shift when you pass underneath. So shifting forward and then shifting back when you go overhead, shift forward into that. Yeah, like knees over toes, getting your knee forward. Whoop, forward. Pushing him so hard. Last one. Awesome. Good, good. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Bill, thumbs up. All right, so we're in our Sailor Jerry position, other side, yeah? One hand on your hip, one ball on your thigh here. This is that nerve stretch for our inner thigh muscles. We're gonna come into an active C curve. When you do that, you may already feel a stretch on your thigh, leaning back a little bit off of your kneecap, shifting into this leg. Again, you may feel a stretch on maybe your hip flexor, your quad, the inside of your leg. And if you don't, no big deal. Just enjoy the position. Not really a position that we get into often. Rocking. And you want that front leg to be out to the side a little bit. You don't want it to be directly in front of you like you're proposing. It's like a little bit more kind of, I don't know, sailor stance. I don't know. Why is this a sailor stance? Yeah, and for me, like, I'm feeling, again, more tension in this side of my legs today, so I just put my hand on my hip and I go, "Oh, it's okay. We're trying to give you love." Hip. Yeah. Do that one more time. And we're gonna pass the ball underneath and lean forward. Again, I'm looking for knees to go over your toes if you're feeling that. And then arms up overhead to pass if you'd like. I think everyone's on that option. There we go. Drop in and shift back. Drop forward, shift back again, eyes down. If you need to look at where the ball is going, actually, the ball overhead, that'll kind of trip you up too. So that's actually a vestibular challenge, I would say. Or you can look forward and just work on the peripheral vision. Just super important. We don't want to have to look down at everything we're doing. Yep. Nice. Let's go 2 more. And last one. And then tucking that leg in. We're actually almost over, but I do want to do one more thing. We are not going to do our music dancing today. We'll save that for next week. But we're going to take your ball, especially if it's a little bit bigger. So maybe Janet with the tangerine. This one's not going to work with the tangerine. But if you have a letter ball, whatever, you're going to place that ball underneath kind of like the pocket of your hip. And your ball can be big too. This will work if your ball is big, that's fine. And you're just gonna sort of move around that ball right in that front part of your pocket. Now, ideally, your ball is soft. Nerves like soft things, not hard things. So if you're in this and you're feeling like your body got tighter with that, maybe it was the wrong ball. Yeah. And I will give the disclaimer also, sometimes in the moment, especially when you're using a softball, because it's so nice, your body's like, I don't get it, what's going on? Bye, Alana. Your body's like, I don't get it, what's going on? Like, what's the point of this? It's a coaxing. Think of it as like a coaxing, okay? The hard trigger point balls, they may feel like you're doing something in the moment, but again, nerves don't like hard things. They get pissed off when they have hard things. So soft ball, you can use the big release ball, or you can use a smaller ball. Moving around. If that kind of push pull through your arms is hard, you can just rock your pelvis side to side. And then when you feel ready, we're going to switch sides. So what I'm doing, where the ball is going is right here on the front of your hip. It's like kind of where your pocket would be on the jeans, but it's kind of rolling around like this, maybe getting to the edges. Okay. We're talking to the nerves of your pelvis to tell them, hey, you don't need to be so angry. You can let the muscles know that they don't need to be so tight. Yeah. Rolling around, rolling around. And I have for this kind of work, the nerve massaging, I have this ball that I use. It's this orange one. It's a 4-inch ball called a Franklin ball. I can give you the link to I have a page on my website with all of my favorite tools on them. You'll just need to scroll through and find the orange release ball if you're looking for something. Good. Let's have you flip over onto your back. You can put the ball wherever you want it. And just let yourself melt into the floor, called yielding. Allow yourself to feel the support of the ground as you melt into the ground. The floor is giving you just as much support as you need to feel the meltiness. Okay. Trying to release some of that tension. You can gently rock yourself in any way, cradling. That's good, Carrie. Start to roll your ankles, roll your wrists, turn your head side to side. Saying no, starting to wake up your body. Roll off to one side and then press yourself up. Rolling off to one side, press yourself up and come up to a full seated position. That was it. Nice job, team. A little bit of everything today. Some coordination, some mat work, stretching. Well, we didn't get the aerobics in, but we'll schedule that for next week. All right, I'm going to turn off the recording. If you have any quick questions or comments, I got a few minutes before my next thing.